Tonight, witnessing war. An Ottawa man looking to leave Lebanon after a tragic and unwanted front row seat to a deadly airstrike. Fatal crash in the West End claims a life on Carling Avenue. Plus, the Sens debut a new program to help newcomers get acquainted with hockey. Good evening. An Ottawa man is now coming to terms with the need to flee Lebanon after new airstrikes from Israel took out a building just blocks from where he lives. As many parts of the Middle East are getting caught up in this conflict, he is feeling conflicted himself, having to make a choice that could be saving his life while leaving behind the humanitarian work meant to help those who may not have a choice at all. A wave of Israeli airstrikes, and this one is among the latest in Lebanon. An apartment building in Beirut targeted because it was believed to house members of Hezbollah. The casualties said to be at least 10, and a Canadian man from Ottawa witnessed it all.
It was devastating, like having the front desk in my hotel and security knock on every single door, telling us to evacuate, going down, people on the streets running, screaming.
Ahmad Araji is a digital creator. Ottawa is home, but for him, so is Beirut. It's where he films his show and interviews notables. But now the Canadian is looking to join others in a mass exodus and return to safer soil. Lebanese officials say the blast he witnessed came with only an hour's notice.
It was intense. That's the least to say.
Meanwhile, Ottawa is estimated to be home to just under 30,000 people who identify as having Lebanese heritage. The country they love caught up in the conflict with Iran. Israel taking issue with Hezbollah because it is backed by Iran. And Hezbollah is on Canada's list of known terrorist entities.
It's important to point out that once a war starts, you really can't control the direction it's going to go in.
So far, this one has gone all over. As the Gulf states of the Middle East become increasingly under threat, and the world watches what happens in the Strait of Hormuz, a channel to carry oil now blocked with global consumers paying the price of the backlash at the pumps. But for the Ottawa man who has seen this firsthand, along with so many others, the only goal now is to ensure all of this doesn't cost them their lives.
Going through that made me realize that maybe I need to pack my bags and go back home.
And the war also continues to drive up gas prices. Prices were hovering between $1.67 and $1.70 per liter of regular at many stations in Ottawa today. Over in Gatineau, they're even higher at $1.72, and prices are expected to increase by another 3 cents overnight. CTV Ottawa has extended coverage of the conflict and its impact. Keep visiting our website for updates, ctvnewsottawa.ca. From the gas price forecast to the weather forecast now, here's Jackie Perez.
Well, we have a little bit of flurry activity happening close to the valley area. So Pembroke, Deep River, even parts of Brentford could see slight flurries as early as the midnight hour. It should move just north of Ottawa for the morning, so we could be in the clear, but it really is going to be in the afternoon, early evening that we could see scattered flurries moving through. Even for parts of other region, could see some isolated showers and freezing rain as well. Temperature-wise, we are getting to a daytime high about 2 degrees. This won't be until around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is when the flurries could transition into the rain, but we are starting things off at -4, so much warmer than what we have seen for the last couple of days. After our Thursday, we are getting into Friday where we could see some more precipitation on the way. These details and more in just a bit.
A head-on crash in Ottawa's West End tonight is confirmed to have been a fatal. Paramedics say a person with critical injuries was pronounced dead at the scene. A stretch of Carling Avenue near Moody Drive had to be shut down for the investigation. First responders say the call came in before 7:30 tonight. No word yet on the identity of the deceased or what caused the collision. A warning tonight about a taxi scam on the rise in Ottawa. Police say scammers are posing as both taxi drivers and customers and distracting victims to get access to their bank accounts. CTV's Leah Larocque has more.
Watch the top corner of your screen. An individual walks up to a Capital taxi van that's parked at Coventry Connections headquarters, ripping off the roof plate and taking off.
This particular occasion, this particular individual was quite bold to come in the yard and steal one of the roof signs.
Police say the individual is a suspect in the latest taxi scam operation to hit the Capital.
The last few days, it's been outside the universities, Carleton and Ottawa U. There's been 3 cases just around the university getting young students. They've also hit outside of Walmart. They've hit outside Billings Bridge.
It works like this. Individuals posing as a driver and customer pull up to a victim, claiming the taxi driver can't accept cash, asking the victim to pay with their debit in exchange for cash.
You punch in your PIN, they give you a different debit card that matches your bank, trying to fool you. Once you leave, they go right to a bank and start withdrawing money.
Draining bank accounts within moments. Police are reminding residents that every legitimate cab will always have a roof sign, an ID number, and a taxi plate, and they will always accept cash as payment.
He's taking money through the credit card from the passenger.
Abdul Sakour is warning his fellow taxi driver about the scam.
I'm 71 years old and retired life, but I'm very happy with the passenger. They are my friends and my family like that.
As for customers, they say they will always check their ride.
You have to be so cautious with everywhere you go now. Yeah, you're always on the lookout. You hear all these horror stories.
I look at the operator ID to see if it looks like the person, and sometimes if I'm really not comfortable, I will try and see what I can find online.
Leah LaRock, CTV News.
The trial for the Ottawa pair accused of killing a 7-week-old baby continued today. Baravi Booth, the baby's mother, and her former boyfriend, Patrick O'Connor, are charged with second-degree murder. Both have pleaded not guilty. Court heard testimony today from a police officer who secured the scene and another who observed Booth at the hospital following the baby's death in October of 2021. The jury is also expected to hear testimony about the baby's injuries from a forensic pathologist. The trial is expected to last 8 weeks. The Premier is getting a cease and desist order over social media statements one group says is defamatory to them and their cause. Toronto's Al-Quds committee pointed to remarks made by the Premier on March 13th, a day before the Al-Quds Day rally, in which he described the event as a breeding ground for hate and anti-Semitism. They have also singled out remarks made on March 14th after a judge had denied an injunction against the event. The committee released a list of demands which call on the Premier to do the following: remove the defamatory video and post from all print and social media, cease and desist from publishing defamatory remarks, and issue an immediate retraction and a formal apology. In a statement, the Premier's office says they will not remove the social media posts or retract their comments, going on to call the rally an event that's long been a venue for anti-Semitism, hatred, intimidation, and the glorification of terrorism. Sticking with news coming out of Toronto and the provincial legislature, statues on the grounds of Queen's Park will soon be covered in protective wrapping. It comes after a monument was defaced during a protest earlier this month. CTV Siobhan Morris reports.
The grounds of Queen's Park are home to monuments to all kinds of figures of history. Former prime ministers, longtime premiers, lieutenant governors, and fathers of Confederation. This statue of George Brown was badly damaged earlier this month. Graffiti filled with expletives directed at the Premier, not entirely scrubbed away. Whatever was used was stubborn.
And so the cost was a little bit more, and it took a little bit longer than normal. It was in excess of $5,000, and that's public taxpayer money.
The vandalism came at the tail end of a student protest against changes to OSAP. The same group is planning an even bigger demonstration next week, just after MPPs return to the legislature.
So we're taking preemptive measures to prevent any damage to any graffiti on our statues on the grounds. We're going to wrap them temporarily.
That was the advice of the Sergeant-at-Arms in charge of keeping Queen's Park safe. The Speaker and the Premier say they're not trying to deter demonstrators.
Anyone who wants to protest, you come to Queen's Park, do cartwheels, jump up and down, whatever you want to do not vandalize. Do not vandalize those statues. They're historic, and if you do, you're going to get charged.
One person was charged with defacing the George Brown statue at the last protest. A second charged with assault for allegedly spitting on a police officer. One of the organizers of that rally believes that police went too far and sees steps to wrap monuments as repressive.
Students have every right to protest and to take on a multitude of forms of protest, and it feels like a measure taken to sort of, protect the space and protect capital as opposed to, allowing for dissent.
The leader of the opposition says students worried about graduating deep in debt are right to be angry.
The government could solve this problem by coming out and actually reversing the OSAP cuts. We wouldn't have a rally next week. I won't have to introduce a motion to get them to reverse the OSAP cuts.
And Balaja says no one from the government's been willing to talk. So on Tuesday,
we're excited to be louder, we're excited to be bigger, and we're excited to be better.
The students! Hoping politicians will be forced to hear them. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Not the best night for Ottawa's professional hockey teams.
Man, I think she was anticipating maybe a wraparound there and was defending low and deep. And they score again!
The Ottawa Charge on the road tonight got a tough challenge from Minnesota. The Frost icing them out of the net completely. Final score 5-0 for Minnesota. And the Sens also had an outcome that didn't go their way.
Anderson to Shabbat. All kinds of traffic in front. Giroux has got it. Towards the net. Tip scores!
The team is also on the road, and tonight's game was against the Washington Capitals. They did get one in the net, but Washington got 4. And while they weren't playing at home, there was still a special invite-only audience taking it in from the Canadian Tire Centre. CTV's Sean Varden has more on the franchise's program, helping newcomers learn more about hockey.
Alcel de Silva Morena grew up playing hockey, but wearing rollerblades and never on ice. Now that he and his family have moved from Angola to Canada, where the organized version of the sport was born, he wants his son Nicasio to learn more about how it's done here.
Hockey's Canadian, and I think he needs to know a bit more about Canadian cultures.
The referee will drop the puck. And now the game starts.
And what better place to learn than at the Canadian Tire Centre, where the Ottawa Senators' Newcomers in Hockey program is making its debut. Dozens of new Canadians invited to learn about hockey in the NHL. The evening included dinner, prizes, and tickets to an upcoming Sens game.
We talk about it 12 months of the year here, whether it's the Senators, whether it's minor hockey, whether it's the Olympics. It's always in the news. It's always top of mind. So we think it's important to provide a night like this where we just go over the basics for people so they can get introduced to the game.
I've never actually known the rules, so this is interesting. This is more like a class for me as well, and I think I've learned more today than he did.
And he shoots it.
Even then, talking to his son, you may say Dad's mission is accomplished.
Hockey is okay. It's like what it's about again, like what to be one of my favorite sports.
Sean Varden, CTV News.
Province is not adequately and consistently funding this sector.
Coming up, tonight's reaction to the province's push to expand the spaces where bring your own booze is acceptable. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It is -4 out there right now. And now we're turning things over to Jackie for a closer look at this week's weather.
Well, looking at these overnight lows, getting down to about -6, so much more comfortable than the -15 we've had for the last couple of days. The chance of flurries will linger in. We've got those southerly winds moving in as well, keeping things warm to a daytime high of 2 degrees. And again, in the afternoon, we could see a very light mix of snow as well as rain, but again, very light, 1 to 3 millimeters as well as 1 to 3 centimeters. So it shouldn't last very long either. Now, tonight's lows across eastern Ontario really hovering around -5, -6 degrees, -8 for Cornwall. So it is a touch cooler. Montreal, Montreal sitting around -9. Clear skies for our friends in Quebec. But as we look towards tomorrow's daytime highs, yes, most of eastern Ontario will see the chance of scattered flurries moving through most of the day. 2 degrees to 3 degrees is the anticipated daytime high. And as we look towards the next several days, we are seeing conditions really improving. It isn't until Friday, though, that you can see this weather system that is moving in. For here in Ottawa, it will likely mean more snow moving through. closer to Kingston, we could see some freezing rain. Just south of it, isolated showers and risk of thunderstorm. But we are keeping a very close eye on this. It will clear within 2 to 3 hours of the weather system arriving. So your evening into your weekend will likely be much clearer. However, the chance of flurries could linger for Saturday and Sunday, but temperatures are starting to warm up. 4 to 6 degrees is the anticipated daytime high for our weekends. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, this is when we will likely see the return of sunshine.
Thank you, Jackie. And even warmer temperatures are expected within weeks. And the next time you go to the farmers market this spring, there's a chance you could bring your own wine with you. The Ford government's plan to allow people to bring their own booze to some outdoor events is getting plenty of bubbly reaction, but also bitter concerns. CTV's Austin Lee reports.
From weddings to farmers markets, bringing specialty cocktails straight to the event is what Alex Mogridge and Andrew McDonald do best.
Fairs, festivals, divorce parties, you name it.
The pair operates the Thirst Responder, but Doug Ford's plan to allow event goers at some farmers markets and neighborhood festivals to bring their own booze is sparking questions. Who will ensure people are drinking responsibly, and which events will apply for a permit?
I think I have my ear to the ground when it comes to innovations and things that are happening. I didn't see this coming.
Mogridge and McDonald see the move as a step in the right direction, and they say they don't expect it to impact their business.
It's only going to change how we operate if festivals or like the street market that we do at Parkdale decides to opt for that option to allow people to bring in their own alcohol.
You can bring a lukewarm 6-pack to an outdoor event, but you can't bring a mobile 30-year-old retrofitted fire truck.
The city would still have to pass a bylaw to allow the new BYOB rules. Ottawa Festival Network Executive Director Tara Shannon says stakeholders are confused about how this will all play out.
There will be an economic impact to the festival producers if we don't thoughtfully and methodically implement this policy.
Instead of allowing people to bring their own booze to events, Shannon says what festivals really need is more support from the province.
Our sector is very vulnerable right now financially. They're still recovering. Their operating costs are up by 30-40%. The province is not adequately and consistently funding this sector.
For now, there's little more to do other than wait for more clarity.
Is this going to affect business? Is it going to help business? A lot of the questions I have myself and a lot of unknowns, but I think my staff are excited.
Austin Lee, CTV News.
I used to love tipping extra for really good service, and I feel like that's kind of gone away now.
Coming up, tipping culture, tipping customers towards resentment. A new survey suggests Canadians want that culture to change.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
According to a new survey, the expectation to leave a tip has Canadians fed up. And as CTV's Austin Lee tells us, the majority want to get rid of the practice altogether.
A lot of Canadians say they're pretty much done with tipping.
I think it should be included in the price. It shouldn't be asked to tip.
Just because you're doing your job doesn't mean you need to be tipped for doing your job.
Many businesses implemented suggesting tipping options during the pandemic, but now the expectation to leave a tip has some customers saying it's gone too far.
I used to love tipping extra for really good service, and I feel like that's kind of gone away now. Even for bare minimum service, they expect 18-20%.
And they're not alone. A new survey by H&R Block finds 2/3 of Canadians want to do away with the practice. And nearly 9 out of 10 people say they resent businesses that ask for tips at places where they don't feel tipping is necessary. And 4 out of 10 people say they avoid going to places that ask for tips at the register, like fast food places, coffee shops, or self-service counters.
I go to Chuck's here quite a bit. They don't ask for a tip, and the service is fantastic.
At Chuck's Deli and Convenience at train yards, tips aren't expected, but appreciated.
They have a tip jar, which is optional at the counter. which I do quite often with them because the ladies are fabulous.
The owner believes all tips should be left up to his customers.
Some good customers like to, and some people they don't. They walk out without tipping. One guy, construction worker guys, he grabbed a $50 and he put it for a lady. So you never know.
Chicken pickle vegetable?
But getting rid of tipping could affect the day-to-day operations in the service industry, and at restaurants, it could mean higher prices for customers to offset the loss of income to employees.
I would assume it would be included in the price. I mean, minimum wage is quite high already, so if tipping were to be taken away, I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what the workforce would look like for that.
But many say the tip options make them feel guilty or pressured.
Even though we feel annoyed by this question for the tip on the machine, 57% of us, so more than half of us, will give a tip anyway.
Kimberly Fowler, CTV News.
This price tag for this lifestyle actually seems like a great deal.
Just ahead, a real estate listing that could be crowned the most expensive sale in Ottawa history. How much is asking? Stay with us to find out. We're getting a look inside tonight at the most expensive home for sale in Ottawa right now. Priced at nearly $10 million, it could become the most expensive home in the city's history. The property is located at 1 DeLong Drive in Ottawa's Beacon Hill North area. CTV's Dylan Dyson takes us on a tour.
A steam shower in this full bathroom. This could be a bedroom with a window and a closet, but it's a Formula One Porsche simulator like I've never seen. And this gym, the equipment, I've never seen this.
This house is truly one of a kind.
It's a showpiece. It's something you would be proud to entertain.
At 1 DeLong Drive in Ottawa's Rothwell Heights neighborhood, this home listed for just under $10 million.
I hear of people spending close to or in excess of $1,000 a foot. This is 10,000 square feet. But also the extras on top of that.
The home has 7 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, but it's all the features that make this house unlike any other.
If you're into cars, the garage is incredible. If you're into golf, it has a golf simulator that corrects your swing. If you're into fitness, it has one of the best gyms I've ever seen. If you're into health and well-being, it has a sauna and a steam room. It's just a lifestyle property.
There's also a home cinema, sports court, wine cellar, elevator, room to park 16 cars, and a 3-story chandelier. This is currently the most expensive home listed in Ottawa, and if sold at or near its listing price, would become the most expensive single detached family home ever sold in the city.
Not your typical Ottawa house, like I mentioned before. More of a South Beach vibe.
So who would buy this house? LaCharity says likely someone not from Ottawa.
And really, if you're from a more expensive city, this price tag for this lifestyle actually seems like a great deal. From what I'm hearing from bigger cities is also safety is a factor. This is a great place to raise your kids. So if you have the money, and in this day and age you could work from anywhere.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News.
I was going to ask you, Hollander, will you come to my cottage this summer? Don't go to Russia.
When we return, the Ottawa Charge have a special request for the heated rivalry co-stars. Stay with us. Here's another live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. The temperature staying at -4 right now. And here's Jackie with our final check on the forecast.
Well, a milder start towards tomorrow morning, -4 to kick things off. The winds also calm, so we're getting a nice break. You might see some light flurries lingering through, but we will likely see more of this in the afternoon hour. Again, it won't last very long. It might even transition to some light showers as well. 2 degrees the daytime high for the first day of spring. Not quite the spring-like weather. 2 degrees the daytime high and a chance of flurries. Stefan.
Thanks, Jackie. Finally, for us tonight, the Ottawa Charge are putting out an official invitation to the stars of heated rivalry, hoping to go from the cottage to the stadium.
I was going to ask you, Hollander, will you come to my cottage this summer? Don't go to Russia. Come to my house. We'll have so much fun. It's so private. No one...
The Charge having some fun with this post on social media and playing on the lines from the hit show. The team is inviting the show's co-stars Hudson Williams and Connor Story to an upcoming game here in the capital against the Montreal Victoire. It's happening on April 3rd. No word yet on whether Story and Williams will actually attend. That is CTV News for this Wednesday, March 18th. CTV News continues online anytime with our digital team, keeping up to date at ctvnewsottawa.ca. You can also watch our newscast live on the CTV News app, and for news on the go, listen to News Talk Radio 580 CFRA. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful night. Stay warm. Stay safe.